State and national parks are precious natural resources, and we at Louisiana Companies in Querbees and Nelson are proud to support this program honoring them. We help people protect what's precious in their lives.
Additional funding for this program is provided by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting.
Hi everyone, I'm Charlie Whinham. Welcome to Louisiana's Natural Treasures, our state parks. When was the last time you visited a state park or historic site in Louisiana? Perhaps you have not visited one yet, and that's okay. Louisiana state parks offer so many choices for the seasoned traveler to the first-timers. Our state offers 20 recreational sites, 16 state historic sites, as well as 1 preservation area. Of course, camping and fishing are popular, but there is also a rich assortment of other activities for sportsmen, including mountain biking, horseback riding, and even the novel sport of disc golf. So, let's go exploring. In 2009, the Louisiana State Park System turned 75. 3 areas opened in 1934, and we are about to head to one of the first original parks. We begin in St. Martinville at the Longfellow Evangeline State Historic Site to explore the beauty of a simpler time in Louisiana. The Longfellow Evangeline State Historic Site in St. Martinville is nestled among 300-year-old live oaks, long steer cattle, and the sleepy waters of Bayou Teche. French was the prominent language when it was settled in the 1700s, and it remains very strong in the region today. You'll find that out the moment you set foot here.
Je te dis bienvenue, rentrez, venez voir notre museum. Et ça veut dire welcome, come in, and view our museum.
And your visit to this state park will offer a wonderful opportunity to step back 2 centuries ago. It is seen in the Creole plantation home of Pierre Olivier, as well as a modest Acadian farmstead.
So we have the main feature, which is an actual plantation house that was built in the 1800s. But then we've also reproduced an Acadian farmstead, and we kind of compare how most people would have lived to how somebody who had a little bit more money lived, and how life was different then than it is today.
Long before the days of radio or television and indoor plumbing, the life of these settlers was much simpler and in many ways much harder.
Kids don't realize how easy they have it nowadays. Normally a child would have gotten up early in the morning and would have had a list of chores to do. They would have had to help out with the housework, the yard work, either feeding the animals, gathering vegetables out the garden, or simply helping the mother straighten up the house.
And then there is the concept of an outhouse for the younger visitors to comprehend.
They're just shocked that there isn't a flushing toilet. I think the outhouse at the farm gets the most oohs and ahs of anything, or they're just interested in seeing the squirrels and the birds and the cows that we have at the farm.
And all food items like corn, potatoes, squash, onions, and spices were picked up in the backyard, not a supermarket.
We show them that you just can't go to the grocery store and pick up items. You had to grow them yourselves. And that there are things that we grow for medicinal purposes, crops that we grow for food, for ourselves and for our animals.
Do the kids get that idea yet of self-reliancy?
Some of them do. It's very, very hard for them to grasp because they're just conditioned to the ability to go out and purchase whatever you want, and mom or dad will give it to you. But they've seen that in the day of a life, you have to go out and perform all these duties to achieve a goal, and the goal has to be in common with the entire family. everyone is needed in this unit.
The family unit of the Creoles is also highlighted just a short walk away from the farmstead. This is Maison Olivier, a plantation home built in 1815. It is a simple and distinctive architectural form which shows a mixture of Creole, Caribbean, and French influences.
At first, the Creoles wouldn't have much to do socially with the Acadians. They were considered socially beneath especially the titled Creoles, this wealthy slave-owning class of Europeans who called themselves Creole at first. But if you go to the house and take the tour, you see that Pierre Olivier's grandson married an Acadian, Marie Curie Mouton. So you begin to have the blending of the two cultures.
The Creoles were of higher means, they had more money, they had wealth. The Acadians more or less came to this country with nothing, with what they carried. When the British kicked them out of Canada, they had only what they were able to carry. But the Spanish government invited the Acadians to settle in this area, and they were given land. They were given provisions to start off, so they saw a little future and they saw a way of beginning their life again.
Tourists from all over the world visit the Evangeline Longfellow State Historic Site. On this weekday afternoon, retired school teachers Dennis and Edie Atkinson stopped by on their way home to Pennsylvania.
The stories are never, you don't stop telling them. They have to go on and on for generations, and this is the way you do it.
Now you're talking to teachers here. We're talking education, right? I mean, this is something that, this is about as good as education as you can get.
Go out and actually see it. Don't look at it a picture in a book, or experience it if you can.
Lots of wildlife. There's lots of nature trails to walk around, and there's lots and lots of history. Like I said, we represent the Acadians and we represent the Creoles with the home that we have that's almost 200 years old, built here on site. People from here, local people, do not realize what a jewel they have in the middle of their town.
Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's 1847 epic poem Evangeline made people around the world more aware of the 1755 expulsion of the Acadians from Nova Scotia and their subsequent arrival in Louisiana. We next travel to one of Louisiana's most popular parks, and it's located in St. Tammany Parish. Fontainebleau State Park is a favorite among campers and hikers, but if you take a moment, you will be amazed at some of the people who have walked the grounds over the years. One of Louisiana's most diverse state parks is Fontainebleau in St. Tammany Parish. Here, 21st century recreation blends with a keen sense of history on this land, from 200 to over 2,000 years ago. You see it in the crumbling brick ruins of a sugar mill built in 1829 by Bernard Marigny, the founder of the nearby town of Mandeville. Marigny named his large land holding Fontainebleau after the beautiful forest near Paris, a favorite recreation area of the French kings. Inside these 2,800 acres, visitors can relax and play along the sandy beach of Lake Pontchartrain, or try your luck fishing off the recently completed pier, or just relax along one of the hundreds of campsites at the park. Fontainebleau is one of Louisiana's largest and most popular state parks. The annual number of visitors speaks for itself.
200,000 people.
My goodness, that
Yes.
sounds like quite a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty good bit. On weekends the campground's pretty much full. During the week it's not as much. Summertime it kind of slows down a little bit, but if it's cool weather, you can guarantee it's going to be hard to get a campsite.
It's even harder to rent out a cabin. 12 new units were unveiled recently and are a huge success. Each cabin sleeps up to 8 people and includes air conditioning, cable TV, as well as a beautiful view of Lake Pontchartrain. And at $90 per night, it's a great way to enjoy the outdoors without roughing it.
I think right now probably the cabins are number one. We've opened them before. The hurricanes came through, kind of took them out for a while, but they're all back open now, and they're staying extremely busy and very packed.
Fontainebleau State Park also offers a variety of trails for exercising and exploring. The Tammany Trace touches the northern part of the park and features over 30 miles of trails. It is a popular spot for cyclists, horseback riders, runners, and rollerbladers. But Fontainebleau also features an extensive boardwalk that puts you right on the water to take in the diverse ecosystems and habitats.
Well, the older boardwalk was washed away by Katrina, but this one's been rebuilt. It's very nice and it's very well used, and you can see lots of wildlife off the boardwalk. We have alligators, lots of waterfowl. We also have otters, and I've even seen a wild boar on the boardwalk.
We're about 2,500 acres, so it's nice to have an area that is set aside for public use, but it's also nice to have an area that is left alone for the environment and for the animals and the wetlands and the wildlife, and I think that's the best part of this park itself.
Greyhawk Perkins would agree. Native American history on this land dates back 3,000 years ago.
Oh my God, there's so much Native American history. It's unbelievable. A lot of people don't know about the Native American history, and they think, when they think Native Americans in St. Tammany, all you hear is Choctaw. And Choctaw really, they didn't come into the late 1700s, early 1800s. They're more of an immigrant tribe.
Greyhawk is a descendant of the Choctaw and Houma Indian tribes. As he walks the grounds of Fontainebleau, Greyhawk has a sense of pride and responsibility of telling the rich stories of the Tchefuncte culture and how this land was the crossroads to many different tribes over the centuries.
All of the research that I've done and worked on in the last 30 years show that at different points of history around this park, there were probably close to 40 different nations that either stayed here or passed through here. And this is a long line of them that were here. And I hear people say, well, I found pottery and I found this, I find arrowheads. Yeah, you're in in what we call a Native American Eden. You've got a lake here that's an estuary to start with. You've got freshwater, you've got saltwater, you've got more vegetation than any other place. You've got, a variety of vegetation and all different animals that you have here. This is the virtual Eden for Native Americans. You're looking at a site here that's, the history of this site dating back, 3,000 years or more, but then you're looking at the Colapisa that were here when the Europeans came, and then you look at Bernard de Marigny, and you look at the sugar mill, and you look at development here, how much history is just on this site alone. Thousands of years of history. And I get to tell people about it, which is real cool.
Fontainebleau State Park offers visitors moments ranging from the playful to the profound. They are moments that just may help all of us better understand our place in time.
It makes me feel really good that I have the opportunity to be on a site like this. How many people can say that they're on a site that their ancestors walked on 2,000-3,000 years ago? Not many can say that. And so, yeah, it's sort of sometimes like a spiritual experience out here for me. Being out here and looking at this land and seeing that it really hasn't changed that much, especially here at the park. And I can look at this and say, wow, my ancestors saw this.
Park officials also tell us Fontainebleau State Park is a great place for bird watching. They recommend the Fontainebleau Birding Guide, which is available for purchase at the new Visitor Center. Don't go anywhere. There's still plenty of more parks and historic sites to explore. When we come back, we will find out some of the best places in Louisiana to go mountain biking and disc golfing. Plus, you're about to meet a retired couple from Logansport that regularly reel in 50-pound catfish out of North Toledo Bend State Park. You're watching Louisiana's Natural Treasures, our state parks, on Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Welcome back to Louisiana's Natural Treasures, our state parks. I'm your host, Charlie Whinham. We next head to North Toledo Bend State Park. If you've ever been to Toledo Bend, then you know the man-made lake is a haven to big fish and possibly even bigger fish stories. And North Toledo Bend State Park offers visitors plenty of wonderful water adventures. Nestled on the Texas-Louisiana border, Toledo Bend Reservoir was created in 1966. It is the largest man-made body of water in the South and the 5th largest in the country. Originally built as a water supply and electricity source for the big cities, it has become a sportsman's paradise for fishermen and fisherwomen.
Whoa.
Charles and Dell Woods have camped and fished at North Toledo Bend State Park ever since it opened in 1987. The two will tell plenty of fish stories. Dell says the catfish in these waters weigh over 50 pounds, and she's caught plenty of them.
Now the umps are the best. The Opelousas catfish, the flatheads are the best. Of course, one of them was close to 76 pounds. This year we only caught a 56 pound.
Come on.
Come on, that's right. And they are good even when they're big.
That sounds like a fish story.
No.
Well, you can go up to the office and check it out. They weighed it and took the picture,
So I took the bait and headed to the office at the North Toledo Bend State Park for verification. There, park manager Betty Morgan proudly displays some of the biggest catches.
We have our unofficial wall of fame. It's also our bragging board. As you can see, big fish, little people, big people. They all display their catch right here.
And there's Dell, beaming with her big catches. The staff vows the park office was not open when she caught her bigger catfish, but confirmed her story 100%. Who's the better fisherman?
Me.
Whoa, he does tell a story every now and then.
I tell you what, she likes it better than I do. She'll sit there all day long, looking at the end of the phone, catching. If they ever bite, you can't get her to quit.
But Dell is not the only leading lady. Trish from Baton Rouge reeled in a 9.5-pound bass that has the female staff fired up.
Now, one of my favorites, you see the lady right there with the peach shirt on?
Yeah.
Trish?
Yeah.
She caught it. She filleted it all by herself. Her daddy told us that. Not many women can do that. Power to the woman.
And then there's Bill Tyson from Newton, Texas, with big catches just 1 month apart. I am amazed. I mean, there are some fish as big as the people.
Yes.
Look at this one.
Yes. Okay.
50 pounds.
Same guy. See him here to the left and see him to the right, Mr. Tyson? March and May, same year.
50 pounds, 60 pounds.
Now Randall over here, he's a fisherman. Give him a fish story, Mr. Randall.
There's a lot of fish, it really is, and I ain't just bragging, but we've had anglers right around our cabins catching 40 to 75 white perch in the evening on a routine basis, and so there's fish to be caught.
Fishing is not the only water activity you can enjoy at North Toledo Bend State Park. You can rent a paddle boat, canoe, or flatboat for a few hours or the entire day. There is even an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Some will take advantage of the campgrounds and cabins along the lake. North Toledo Bend State Park offers over 60 campsites for under $20 a day and 10 air-conditioned log cabins that sleep up to 6 people for $90 a night. Park officials suggest reserving your campsite or cabin early, especially if you want to book for holidays, weekends, or the summer months. Wayne, for being in the middle of summer in Louisiana, under the shade next to the lake, it's relatively cool. It's quite comfortable, almost.
That's one of the benefits of being in an area that has so many trees as we do.
and we get this most of the year where we've got the fairly cool, and of course you get a little breeze off the lake, which helps also.
There are 2 trails that wind along the lakeshore and the tall pines. They are perfect for bike riders and nature walkers of all ages. North Toledo Bend State Park is just one jewel of the sportsman's paradise that is Louisiana. Del and Charles have fished and camped all across the country, including Alaska, and their story remains the same. North Toledo State Park is still their favorite.
It's good fishing. The campgrounds are great. It's close to home. And for another reason, and plus it's well maintained. The people that run it are people friendly, and they keep it good, you know.
Mm-hmm. Del, what do you like about this place?
Well, I think he told it all. I can't do any better than that.
But you can fish better than him.
Oh, I can fish better than he can any day.
Toledo Bend Reservoir is 65 miles long with 1,200 miles of shoreline. If you make it over to North Toledo Bend State Park, make sure and ask for Frida Ebarb. She knows everything going on there and will offer plenty of advice on how to make the most of your trip. Let's next head towards Shreveport and visit Lake Bistineau State Park. The lake itself dates back almost 200 years. It began in 1800 when thousands of acres were flooded due to a gigantic log jam in the Red River. This state park serves a variety of visitors all year round and offers much more than simply camping and fishing. Roughly 30 miles east of Shreveport is Lake Bistineau State Park. Lake Bistineau is not your typical state park. While many areas along a lake will offer activities for anglers and boaters, Lake Bistineau also boasts an extensive system of trails that cater to many other sportsmen. David Jett is the park manager.
We have 10.5 miles of hiking trails that we've broken up into segments. This particular segment is the Willis Homestead Trail. We named it this because this trail actually goes through the original homestead of the farm that existed here when the state bought the property back in the early 30s.
You get out to these trails much?
Frequently. I try to walk them at least once a month. Many times I get to do that more often than that. I've been hiking on these trails since 1996, and every time that I take a walk through here, I see something new.
David even penned a nature guide for visitors to use as they walk through this diverse trail. His guide helps hikers locate the biggest sassafras tree or pick out the winter huckleberries.
In the space of a short walk, we have changed forest types from an upland hardwood, that predominantly pine and hardwood trees that like drier occasions, drier situations, to a fertile bottomland down ahead of us, and you can bring groups through here and in a very short space of time and distance show them quite diversified forest.
The diversity does not end there. The hikers enjoy the trails, and so do the bikers. Lake Bistineau State Park is open to mountain bikers of all skills and levels, and even hosts several biking events throughout the year. Leonard Service is the president of the Louisiana Off-Road Cycle Organization, also known as LOCO.
Here in North Louisiana, we are blessed with about 5 very nice trails, and I try to, make the rotation. I think it's really funny that people outside the state have a preconceived idea about Louisiana being all flat and very wet, and not have a clue that there's actually great mountain biking in this state. And it should be a destination for people to actually come and check them out.
Retired Shreveport fireman and seasonal park worker Jim McAllister prefers another type of saddle. Jim enjoys spending his time with his quarter horse Jim Bob on the Wool Mule Equestrian Trail.
That actually comes from Yosemite Sam.
when he used to ride his horse and the horse wouldn't stop and he would be screaming at it, "Whoa, mew." And
Who came up with that idea?
Actually, that was my idea.
At Lake Bistineau State Park, you can rent bikes, but not horses. So that means the Whoa Mule Equestrian Trail is BYOH, bring your own horse.
A good trail ride is not real difficult. It's pretty well marked. You really can't hardly get lost on it. It basically makes 2 loops and it comes back to where you begin. That's the trailhead, and the loops bring you back to here.
Then there are other folks making happy trails by playing disc golf. Lake Bistineau features an 18-hole course and has plans for 18 more. Shreveport area disc golfers, including Kevin Pelton, helped with the course layout.
It's really nice. We've gone over took the whole area that we've used out here, and there's probably, I think, about 400 acres out here, and they gave us the run of the place, and we think we've designed something pretty good out here.
The object of the game is just like regular golf. Instead of a bag of clubs, each player has their own bag of discs that are specialized for long and short distances. On this afternoon, Kevin and his son Cameron were playing around with friends.
There's no club membership, there's no green fees, there's no cart rental, there's no $500 set of clubs. You know, I can play anytime I want to because most all disc golf courses are in a public park. So it's free to come out all day long, play as many rounds as you want, stop, and we picnic and barbecue out here in the pavilions, and it's just really a nice time, and I enjoy it thoroughly. I'm sold.
Kevin and his design team also created the longest disc golf hole in Louisiana. The par 5 7th hole is 888 feet long. Lake Bistineau may be many things to many people, but one thing is for certain. Lake Bistineau State Park offers visitors a great escape.
If we're going to do word association, the word that comes to mind immediately is serenity. This place is a place you can come and you can take a break from the busy life that affects us all, and everything slows down and it's quiet and it's serene and it's peaceful, and you can just lay back and relax for the time that you're here.
Officials at Lake Bistineau have been battling a serious salvinia weed problem. This weed is choking off oxygen to the lake and is a serious concern for officials. Plans to fight the weed include possibly draining the lake, as well as introducing a weevil into the water system that would eat the plants. The Great Louisiana State Parks and Historic Sites adventure continues. When we come back, we will discover one of North America's richest archaeological sites in northern Louisiana. Plus, we will find out about a trailblazing woman of the 1920s named Caroline Dorman, who helped create the first state-supported Arboretum in the United States. You're watching Louisiana's Natural Treasures, our state parks, on Louisiana Public Broadcasting. Welcome back to Louisiana's Natural Treasures, our state parks. I'm your host, Charlie Whinham. Next, we head to northeast Louisiana and scratch the surface of one of North America's richest archaeological digs. It's called Poverty Point State Historic Site, and this unassuming countryside just outside of Epps holds many stories as well as many mysteries. The rich farmland soil of northeast Louisiana blankets a 3,500-year-old story. This land was home to one of the largest civilizations of its day in North America. Named after a plantation farm of the 1800s, this area is known as Poverty Point. This area in West Carroll Parish was overlooked for centuries until an aerial photograph unlocked remnants of an ancient civilization. Similar to the ancient Mayans, the Poverty Point inhabitants set an enormous task as they built a complex array of earthen mounds and ridges overlooking the Mississippi River floodplain. 6 concentric earthworks are separated by ditches and spread across 3/4 of a mile. There is also a large plaza area that covers 37 acres. A good way to get around and learn more about Poverty Point, hop on a tram ride for a little time travel with park manager David Griffin.
A lot of people become very, excited whenever they come to the site and see, what is actually here. They read about it, but you can read, you can look at pictures, you can look at photographs, but until you come and see the grandeur of Poverty Point, you won't appreciate it.
David, what are we coming across here?
Now, here is essentially the most magnificent part of the earthworks, I believe, and is one simply large mound called Mound A. Some archaeologists refer to it as the bird mound. It has a very unusual shape to it. It's almost like a bird with spread wings. The mound still stands 72 feet high. It's tremendous in size. And it actually is the largest mound in North America at the time it was built.
This area is also significant because it marks one of the largest and permanent communities of hunters and gatherers, which are mostly known to be nomadic. Artifacts left behind include tools such as arrowheads, polished stone weights attached to fishing nets, and clay briquettes used for cooking. These Native Americans also made jewelry that included the simplistic beauty of this owl carving. To date, only 25 finished and unfinished forms have been found at Poverty Point. The people of Poverty Point acquired stones from the Ozark and Appalachian Mountains, and even copper from the Great Lakes some 1,400 miles away.
It's a very complex earthwork with a lot of imported raw materials. So the people here were hunter-gatherers, but they were just doing some phenomenal stuff.
As the sun rises one summer morning, a group of students and professors from UL Monroe, LSU, and Mississippi State work on an archaeological dig. It is a month-long project. Thanks to recent ground-penetrating technology, this dig is pinpointing 4 sites in the large plaza area that show changes to the magnetic field underground.
We suspect at this level that it's similar to a bunch of large posts that were found by Dr. Haig in this area back in the 70s. And you can see in this unit here, you can just pick up an edge of it, very dark. We've got about 1/4 of it running right through there. It's dark soil, very sandy matrix with just a few artifacts mixed in.
Very meticulous work, isn't it?
It is. Well, when archaeologists excavate, we're essentially destroying that part of the archaeological record. So we want to make sure that we document everything that we can. We take notes, we make sure we keep our samples together, we have photographs, because we don't want to destroy something and then come back later and wish we hadn't.
Even the smallest of samples get scrutinized. All this work is tough and tedious as researchers try to understand the people of this land, 1 centimeter at a time.
What they're doing, even though it seems tedious, it is of large importance because we know so little about what the people did, why they actually made the little bitty owls and the little drills and all that. What was the purpose? We know so little of it. So the students doing this excavation and going through these artifacts and finding this stuff, maybe it'll answer some more questions for us and put it all together.
And perhaps in time, the work of these people and others will unearth some answers. What were these mounds used for? Could it be for religious or ceremonial reasons? What, if any significance, do the owl stones convey? And what was going on at that 37-acre plaza? It remains a mystery that inspires and challenges the scholars and visitors alike. I guess we really don't know a lot about that civilization, though. We may see the buildings and we may see the artifacts, but that almost is kind of where it ends, the story, isn't it?
Yes, pretty much. We don't know anything about the people themselves, with no burials on the site, no human remains here. Now, of course, you do get the other aspect where you look at the tremendous amount of material they left behind from the artifacts, And of course, looking at the earthworks that they did build, you get that part of that perspective of their life. But then you get to the people themselves, but there's nothing.
It's a total mystery.
That's a whole mystery. It is.
We know the what, we don't know the why.
Exactly.
How easy is it for you do you have to close your eyes and imagine it, or do you kind of see it with eyes wide open of what that civilization might have been like?
Really being here at the site, knowing what's out there, put the buildings back where they would have been, put the housing, put the people back out there, and you can really visualize it. And I know it's a little difficult at first, but once you look at everything, you can put everything back to scale.
It is estimated that over 5 million baskets of earth was used to construct the mounds at Poverty Point. Hundreds of years of farming dating back to the 1800s greatly reduced the height of the earthworks before the state purchased and preserved the site in the 1960s. Well, here's some trivia for you. Bayou Bartholomew is the longest bayou in the world at roughly 375 miles. It starts in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and flows into the Ouachita River in Morehouse Parish. And that is where we find our next state park that offers wonderful lessons in nature and American history. One of Louisiana's oldest state parks is in Morehouse Parish, and certainly has one of the most unique names. Just ask the friendly park manager.
Welcome to Chemin-A-Haut State Park.
How do you say that?
Chemin-A-Haut. The locals pronounce it that way.
Yeah.
Some people say Chemin-A-Haut, some say Chemin-A-Haut. It's been pronounced 6 or 7 different ways, but the locals here pronounce it Chemin-A-Haut.
This 500-acre park is situated on a high bluff overlooking Bayou Bartholomew. Chemin-A-Haut takes its name from the French word meaning high road, which was the route used by Native Americans hundreds of years ago in their seasonal migration. But in the 1930s, it was a very different path that brought the men of Company 478 to northeast Louisiana. They came from Georgia and Alabama and were members of the Civilian Conservation Corps. The men earned $30 a month. Back in the Depression era of the 1930s, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt created the Civilian Conservation Corps. Between 1933 and 1942, over 3 million men served in the CCC. They built parks and nature preserves all across the United States, including right here at Chemin-A-Haut. The members of the CCC built numerous items at the park, including an amphitheater, as well as picnic shelters. But the jewel of their work is the main lodge that is now used as a hall for meetings and social events. An elegant wood etching on the fireplace mantel showcases the craftsmanship created over 70 years ago. And back in 2004, the staff at Chemin-A-Haut recognized members of the CCC that helped create this state park.
They did a fantastic job for us.
If it wasn't for the CCC, this park wouldn't really probably be here, huh?
Probably wouldn't even exist today if it wasn't for the CCC veterans. We want to thank them so much for their efforts.
This is maintenance foreman Charlie Sanford. A while back, Charlie was driving trucks cross-country. Beginning a family and looking for work closer to home, Charlie found a job here. Charlie, how long have you worked out here?
37 years.
37 years?
37 years. I come here the first day of February, 72.
Did you imagine you'd be working here almost 40 years since that day?
No, I figured about probably a year or something, and I'd find something better.
Have you?
And I hadn't found nothing better yet.
Charlie knows this area inside and out. He gave us a tour of one of the most unique campgrounds you'll ever find. Located next to an 8-mile equestrian trail, campers with horses will find extra special accommodations with these tall hitching posts. So you can park your camper and your horse right here.
Right here, Most of the campers try to stay over yonder, with electrical hookup, and they can bring their horses over here and tie them off. They'd be ready to ride then the next day.
The cabins are a winner as well. A group camp sleeps up to 38 people and runs $150 a night. 8 deluxe cabins have enough room for 8 people and offers beautiful views from the kitchen and living room. The cabins run $90 a night. You really don't have to rough it if you want to come on out here with those cabins, do you?
No, that's right.
Cabins are nice.
Oh, they're fantastic. And we've actually done some remodeling on the floors, and we've added some new appliances in the cabins. You would have a great time coming to Chemin-A-Haut.
Chemin-A-Haut State Park offers a great environment with a rich historical account of our country during tougher times. And if you come to spend a weekend here, be careful. You might just hang around a little longer.
I worked in a plant one time for probably a year and a half, and I never did like it. Noise, it just wasn't my thing. I'm an outside person.
This is the best job in the world, in my opinion. And I won't go anywhere else if it's left up to me.
Over 100 species of fish have been found in Bayou Bartholomew, making it one of the most diverse streams in North America. Well, another unique force of nature is a woman by the name of Caroline Dorman. She is reputedly the first woman forester of Louisiana and spearheaded the drive to create a state arboretum. Thanks to her tireless devotion to nature as well as art, the Louisiana State Arboretum debuted in 1961 and was the first such area in the South. Located just north of Ville, Platte, the Louisiana State Arboretum was established in 1961 and was the first state-supported arboretum in the United States. Here, 300 acres of natural growth is embellished with additional plantings of species that are indigenous to Louisiana.
Ville Platte, which is where we're right next to, means flat town, and you come right up here and we have all these little hills and gullies, and kids think they're mountains because they just don't see that around here.
The Louisiana State Arboretum is probably one of the best kept secrets in the South, and so is the lady that helped create it, a woman by the name of Caroline Dorman.
I actually never heard of her until I worked here. And I went to LSU. She has an honorary doctorate from LSU. I went to LSU in the wildlife department. I never heard of her until I got here. So she's very underappreciated in our state.
Caroline Dorman was born in the summer of 1888 in Saline, Louisiana, and is considered the state's first woman forester. Caroline began working for the Louisiana Forestry Department in 1921 and developed Louisiana's first program on forestry and conservation education. An acclaimed writer and artist, Miss Dorman was passionate about nature.
So many things about her. She wrote books. She wrote many books about native plants in Louisiana, wildflowers in particular, and she was an artist, so she would illustrate her own books. We have some of her original drawings in here. She wrote a book about birds. She was very interested in birds. One about Native Americans in Louisiana. So she's a very interesting woman. In her day, if you were interested in plants, people knew who she was. She actually corresponded with Edison. They exchanged seeds on certain, plant seeds. He was doing some kind of project, and so yeah, people knew who she was.
It was a dream of Caroline's to create a state arboretum one day for generations to come.
We have some jewels in Louisiana, we really do. This is one of them.
Carol Troy and husband Al share the same passion for nature preservation and education as Miss Caroline.
And more church cap, looky here. Oh, what we got here, Al? Is that hydrangea? Yeah, that's hydrangea.
Kathy and I have introduced a lot of people to this place, and the couple that came up with us today had never been here before, and she's a master gardener, and he and I have been friends for 10 years.
And in front of the Caroline Dorman Lodge, the simplest definition of pure joy is a hunt with Carol for swallowtail butterflies.
And you look at it, look for the stripes coming down. That's why it's called a tiger. See? Look. Isn't this a gorgeous? This is food for butterflies. Look at this. Look at this beautiful coneflower. See, look at that. Oh, is that gorgeous?
That's a tiger?
It's a tiger.
Tell me about Caroline Dorman and why is she important?
Caroline Dorman is one of the most important women to Louisiana, and there's not that much known about her. I would say there's more known today than it was maybe even 10, 15 years ago, because people have now gotten out and are enjoying the fruits of her labor, okay? Here we are in the 1930s and 1940s, and we got a woman in our Capitol House fighting for a forest. Can you imagine? Fighting the good old boys of Louisiana to keep a forest, to save a tree. She loved her trees.
And Carol, just like Caroline, loves the trees, the plants, the birds, and the bugs that reign in this forest.
I like this place because it's so beautiful with all the trees and the flowers, and you never come here and you immediately you get out of your car and you see a butterfly, you see a flower that's blooming that you know a certain bird will like to eat it. The bird will come along, land on it, and already how many butterflies have I pointed out to you?
We've seen a couple.
And if people in this state could only know what that woman did and know her life story. There is a book on her life story, and it's wonderful. There's also all the books she did. She was also an artist, a teacher, and her story, though, that's the most miraculous thing. When you find out about her story, her life, you're going to be amazed too. And you're going to be amazed at what she accomplished for you and I.
The Louisiana State Arboretum has one of the widest ranges of topography in Louisiana, so almost every type of vegetation except coastal marsh and prairie is represented. And if you're really lucky, you might meet up with the Troys for a wonderful and educational walk along the nature trails. And with that, our adventure is at an end, but I hope this is only the beginning for you to start exploring our wonderful state parks and historic sites. There's so much to do and so much to learn. And make sure you bring a good pair of walking shoes and get on your way. For everyone at Louisiana Public Broadcasting, thanks for watching. Now get out there and explore Louisiana.
State and national parks are precious natural resources, and we at Louisiana Companies in Querbies and Nelson are proud to support this program honoring them. We help people protect what's precious in their lives.
Additional funding for this program is provided by the Foundation for Excellence in Louisiana Public Broadcasting.